Okay, so garden bed, May 26th. All these brassicas look like they're finally really getting going, and I'm probably not going to get anything from this one. It's starting to get damaged, although because it had a lot of rain, so it's washed off everything that I put on it, like BT or whatever. But you know, maybe that's going to be a cabbage head. I'm not sure. Like, it's beautiful. I've got several that are looking really nice, and I just don't know that we're gonna have time for them to get to be cabbage heads. I think they're probably gonna bolt. But lots of garlic. I'm gonna plant it all around it. I got an onion. I think that I'd split, or I planted last year and it split into two. This amazing, beautiful thing, which I believe is cauliflower. Violetta Italia, I think is so obviously purple Italian cauliflower, because the color's slightly different than these guys, which I'm pretty sure these are all broccoli. Because I did try a bunch of broccoli and not realizing that broccoli in this zone is just not great for spring. Now I know. But yeah, so this massive thing, I checked all the dates and everything yesterday, so maybe in another 2 weeks, if it doesn't bolt, maybe we'll get a head from it. But it's so pretty. I need to take it out before it gets a chance. Also, just transplanted these out like last week. They're black cherry, cherry tomato. These are the trellis here. And then we have some snow peas that have already gotten all the way to the top of the trellis in like no time, and I just picked these yesterday, and I swear those were tiny, and now they're like, you know, pretty good size. Another brassica back there, and that might also be a cauliflower. We got some peas, a little teepee, and some asparagus that I'm letting burn out here, which, you know, and then that last pea, for whatever reason, was just dead as heck. So I'm probably gonna cut that down today or tomorrow. But another black cherry, and there's one more black cherry on the other end, on the back side here. So yeah, black cherry is probably the healthiest out of all of them. I guess it just gets maybe slightly more sun. Here's celery that I grew from seed that's still kicking somehow, although it looks like, I don't know, it's tomato. It's still going. It likes damp conditions, so this is like the sort of lower back corner, so I figured that was probably a good place for it. Here's some green zebra tomatoes that are leaning heavily into trellis, so that's good. Clearly I'm gonna guess a squirrel last night come visit my garden and either dig something up or plant something. I don't have anything planted there, I don't think, so, you know, digging stuff up, planting things for me. And as far as what's in here, so it's another brassica, all these beautiful brassicas that are probably just not gonna amount to much, but they sure do look nice. And I don't have an immediate need because I'm planting other things in there. So you can sort of see there's a paprika, a tiny baby right there, another one there, the remnants of one there. I had 5, 2 completely disappeared forthwith. I have a couple of carrots that are hanging on in here. That's a volunteer, and it's hyssop. This is Swiss chard. This is another thing that probably just needs to come out. There, where you are, critter. But I just haven't yet gotten any to space yet, so I'm good. This was my first green zebra that I put in the ground, and it's got so many blossoms on it. So many. And they look kind of big, and I know these are supposed to be like bigger tomatoes, but like, look at that. Yes. Doing the thing. So, fingers crossed on that. Carrot, cabbage, little opal basil. My little cucamelon that has to survived because it's camouflaged completely by this cabbage, I guess. So I was trying to help it with the basil. And I don't know, we'll see. Out of like the 5 or 6 I planted, this is the one that's not gotten eaten yet, so I shouldn't put too much out there. Some ground cherries I still have in pots, stunted versus not stunted. Check this green zebra, also a bunch of blossoms, so that's really neat. And then we will look at the greenhouse. I just separated out a bunch of hollyhock seeds I started yesterday. That's pretty much what I did, was just repot and separate out clusters of things. So these are all hollyhocks. And there is a double white. Those are all the smaller ones. And then this is, I want to say it's called Night Watchman. It's like a burgundy red. It's not quite as dramatic as the black ones that we've all heard tell about, but you know, I haven't been able to find the seeds for those as of yet. I'll have them one day. Gardenia, that's the word. Clinging to life there. And apple trees starting to get all kind of things, because these are the volunteer ones. And I probably will just end this experiment one day soon. These are the Romas I dug up out of the bed because they were looking a little sad and puny compared to the other ones, and had ginormous ones in pots. So we'll find another spot for them eventually. Lemon balm, putting in a pot. And then, let's see, we had a ton of lobelia. And I broke up the 2 most densely seeded ones. Like, they had tiny, tiny seeds, so I must have really way overseeded these little starter pots. But in any event, I separated some of them out, gonna give them some time to get bigger, and then put them on the side of the house by the AC. Sweet alyssum, which is actually supposed to help repel tomato hornworms. So I'll probably put some of those, stick them around next to my tomato plants. That's a black cherry. This is actually the second time I've swapped out plants. I had initially planted those on the back of the trellis and they got just killed, so eaten up, and so I moved them back into pots. Some thyme. There's another green zebra. That's actually from a cutting that I took off one of the armpits, and I just popped it in the soil to see what would happen, and it seems to be doing a thing. So, and then let's see, these down here, the pink chintz thyme that we're putting along the front wall. And I had one that was just really happy and healthy, so I decided to divide it up into 4. Some more seeds back here, more basil, dark opal, and that is an Italian largely. I put Genovese, but it isn't labeled Genovese when I went through my seed book. Just did that from memory, I guess. But I guess, it might be more or less the same. More calendula are getting bigger. I've got 2 more cucamelons and peat pots. I'm experimenting with peat pots. These were a bunch of English thyme that I'd started from seed and separated them out, so they're all kind of like, they have a little bit of space. I have a couple in pot. Butternut, it's growing, it's not doing much. Tulsi starts there. Another thyme. These are paprikas that I put into a bigger pot, sharing pot, because I don't have enough. And apparently peppers like to hold hands, is the expression. They don't mind being planted close to each other. Bunch of onions, also shared pot. These are all zinnias. Trying to let them get bigger. Cucamelon. It's a bunch of mustard, red leaf mustard that I'm going to put in the front. Let's see, that's a New Zealand spinach. Lots of celery. Starting more celery. Once I got it going, this might be the entirely wrong time of year, but I'm trying. I have 2 artichokes started from seed, and then some poblano peppers, Minnesota midget cantaloupes. Oh, I got more cucumber, my bad. And then another Charleston gray, 2 Charleston grays. So I need to start some more sugar beets, I just realized. I don't know if I did down here. Oh, I did. I'm so good. So in the very back, more watermelons, sugar babies, another Minnesota midget. See, I'm overdoing it. I totally gave myself insurance. This backyard won't have like a square foot to walk in if I put all this stuff out, but you know, most of it get eaten by bugs. A bunch of beans are starting to pop up, and that's really great. And then also okra. So we have a burgundy bean, and dragon tongue, and blue lake. So, and then also trees. This poor little pomegranate continues to have struggles, but it's you know, it's making new leaves as well as just having some other ones kick it. Red onion starts. I think that is it's something. And citrus. That one's super happy, but not lots of leaves. And I think that concludes our broadcasting.